Maybe I'll travel a bit before settling down. I'd like to know more than the tavern on the green and the forge.
I want to end my days in Skalitz, here, beneath the linden tree and by your mother's side.
Well, so do I, one day. But first, I'd like to see the world, meet new people.
I thought I was just going to be playing another RPG. But from the first time I drew a sword in Bohemia, I realized something a little terrifying. Every swing was costly, and the world didn't care if I lived or died in the end. Kingdom Come Deliverance doesn't just test your skill, it throws you into a world where life is fragile and death is permanent. Kingdom Come Deliverance came out in 2018, and after seeing all the hype about KCD2 last year, I decided I had to jump in to this universe. But starting with the first game. Sure, I knew it was a medieval RPG, but I had no idea what that would and wouldn't entail. I've never played a video game that felt so unlike a video game. You wake up hungry, bruised, and you have no idea what's coming. Every moment in this world is survival. You don't just wander a medieval village, you live in it. The world doesn't feel like a game. It feels like you're living in someone else's life from the past, 6 centuries ago. You smell of ale and smoke. People don't need to even ask you where you're from or who you are, because they already know based on looking at you. You're nothing but a stranger with no reputation. This world feels mysterious, but also somehow familiar. This is the place we all probably imagined when reading about medieval Europe in school. But now you're there. A blacksmith grunts while he's hammering away at armor and weapons and cursing at competitors. Innkeepers condescendingly talk to you, and noblemen won't even acknowledge you're there. Every face tells a different story. Fear, hunger, desperation. Children run barefoot in the dirt. People coughing, begging. Women carrying pails of water uphill, their clothes stained and torn. In the beginning, Henry isn't a hero or a warrior. He's a nobody scraping through a world that tests whether he deserves to live another day. But then he becomes determined for revenge. When Henry leaves the village, that is when you see the true beauty of this world. Away from the shouting and the filth of the villages, there's rolling hills of grass, the dense forest trees, or swampy marshes. I never expected the natural world to feel like this in Kingdom Come Deliverance. But the beauty can deceive you into thinking you're safe. You'll come across an injured woman, or an obstacle, a lifeless body, and you'll want to help or explore, but that's the cruel world taking advantage of you, as you're lured into an ambush. Early on, these ambushes often mean sure death. All you can try to do is get back on your horse and gallop away. But that's not forever, because eventually you can fight back. A medieval world sounds intriguing and mysterious at first, but then you run out of food, get cut during a fight, or break a rib while you're sleep deprived. Then the world starts to punish you. You're vulnerable to starvation, cuts, and broken bones, sleep deprivation, but you stay in the world. Not because you like the struggle, but because you already started walking Henry's path. And in this medieval land, you can't just turn back. These aren't just NPCs. The world is filled with living, breathing characters that couldn't feel more real at times. There are beggars, charlatans, knights, friends, and some people you'll never come across again. Everyone has a story, and your actions ripple through them in unpredictable ways. A single choice, who to trust, who to lie to, or who to help, can have extreme consequences you won't see for hours, days, even weeks later. Perhaps one of the most unsettling parts of this world is that the game doesn't want you to reload and try again. You're discouraged from quick saving and retrying, reloading. You get one chance, and everything after that is and feels irrelevant. One of the most consequential actions I learned was during Johanka's questline in the DLC. She's being scolded and put on trial by the monastery, and you have to carefully walk a tightrope of correct decisions and quests leading up to the final trial, where she will either be brutally killed or heroically saved. The first time, I couldn't save her. Some allies betray you when it suits them. Some enemies can become reluctant allies, and decisions aren't labeled good or evil. They are survival, politics, and mortality tangled together in a weird web you can barely piece together. In Kingdom Come Deliverance, the people are as dangerous as the wilderness, and every choice you make can haunt you long after the moment has passed. The best decision I accidentally made was killing Zbyszek after he helps Henry escape from the enemy camp late in the game. I decided to kill him just because he was annoying me and I thought maybe he could have some good loot. But then later I played the Woman's Lot DLC and found out how truly he was a piece of shit. Thank God I did not side with him and let him live. The smallest action in this game can ignite into consequences you'll never see coming. This is not a game that bends to the story that you want. You fall into 1403 Bohemia, and you're expected to figure things out the way people did at the time, through rumors, arguments, manipulation, and half-understood conversations at the nearby tavern. At first, it's disorienting and even frustrating. You hear of nobles, claimants to the throne, shifting loyalties between nobles, and it doesn't seem very straightforward. You're hearing fragments of a political crisis that everyone in this world already understands, except you. The game doesn't stop to catch you up. Instead, you have to slowly piece things together. A lord will casually mention Sigismund's invasion. A villager will complain about mercenaries passing through, or a priest will go on a drunken rant about the state of the kingdom. Little by little, those scattered conversations start forming a picture of a country that's falling apart. Imagine trying to keep up with the political state of a kingdom 6 centuries ago. History isn't pretend in Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's background noise while you try to survive in a harsh, cruel, medieval world. Life in 15th century Bohemia is tough. The first time I got into a real fight, I thought I was ready. I had a weapon, a little bit of armor, and I played enough RPGs to assume I understood kind of how it was supposed to go. But I didn't. The fight was messy, awkward, slow. My swings missed, my stamina drained faster than I expected, and the enemy wasn't exactly waiting for me to perfectly counter every hit. It felt like a fist fight in a dream. That moment changes how you view fighting in the game. From that point on, you approach fights cautiously. You get better with Henry, but that doesn't mean you become invincible. There are no level numbers sitting above enemy heads telling you you're above or below the required level. You practice and level, and eventually you get to the point where you're becoming more confident. But right until the end, a fight can flip on a dime and you can get ambushed and outnumbered, or a couple sequential enemy hits can just kill you. You can't just naively explore this world. You could run into humans, bandits, or something worse. Life wasn't easy. As a peasant, you could be doomed to a life of struggle, poverty, and disease, while a noble could live the life of a king from the day they were born. A poor word in a tavern, a stolen loaf of bread, or failing to pay a debt can spiral into weeks of trouble. As you ride through Bohemia for the last time, the weight of the entire playthrough hits you all at once. All the fights, decisions, mistakes, the annoying actions you start the game doing become part of the reason why you stuck around for so long. You don't just play Henry's story, you experience it in all its brutality, beauty, and the fragile humanity that you have to weave through. In the end, you realize something. Surviving isn't the reward in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Living through the 15th century as a blacksmith's son and seeing this world unfold and exist beyond just a little village called Skalitz is the real story.